Woo! Y'all, the heat has been turned all the way up. We all the way turned up. I ain't never seen an episode like this. First challenge episode ever to where there has been 8 eliminations in one night. I mean, we didn't get to see nothing but eliminations. Big time players in big time matchups. Some small time players. But definitely this hour 30-minute episode really got to the crucifix of a lot of things and beefs, and I have some thoughts. Not pleased with everything, but hey, who is ever pleased with everything? Welcome back. Yeah. We back with another challenge, season 40 Battle of the Eras episode recap. This is episode 2 or episode 1.5, whichever one they call it. I'm calling it episode 2. They can call it episode whatever they want. But this episode was crazy. I've been looking forward to this episode since the last one ended because it was a cliffhanger. We got to finally finish an episode this time and really get down to what's going down. My initial thoughts after this episode, it just ended. I'm not pleased with all the eliminations. I'm not pleased with all the elimination matchups. I'm not pleased with all the elimination results. But what I am pleased with is that the eliminated players can affect the game in somehow. Now, they don't necessarily get to vote on the winner, but they get to have an effect on the final outcome of the game in some way, shape, or fashion. I don't hate it because this is an epic season 40. Everyone's voices should matter, and a lot of the players that get put into elimination in this first one, they just got unlucky. I'm just gonna put it like that. A lot of unlucky things happen their ways, whether the challenge wasn't their strong suit, the daily challenge, whether the elimination they got put on was just not in their wheelhouse, or the player they went up against was just the one player that could have beat them in the challenge or / elimination, should I say. And it definitely was telling. I kind of wish that they showed us the drawings of like how they decided how to pick which scorecard, each elimination box, what it was. They kind of skimmed and slimmed over that real quick, thinking that we were just not gonna notice. No, I noticed, and it was kind of weird how they just glossed over. They did a little weird. The ordering of the episode was a little funky because we just went straight into the elimination, and then they did flashbacks on like how we got there. Wasn't a big fan of that method. I wish they just continued it from the deliberation and then went on to the elimination, because I just kept going back and forth. And I was like, y'all, what are we doing? It's flashback central, flashback city. I get it. And then the eras didn't even go in order. I believe it went era 3, era 1, era 4, era 2. Why did it go in that order? Why didn't it just go era 1 through 4? That was confusing in itself too. So I feel like they trying to pull a fast one, pull the rug out of under our feet to try and confuse us to see what's really going on. I just like the order of operations. I know the challenge don't operate on order of operations. If you know, you know. And it just had me a little lost in the beginning. But we got caught back up, and we got some crazy elimination matchups. I mean, the biggest one, shout out Derek, man. Derek didn't have a chance in the world, but he came out and dog walked Mark. Dog walked him. I mean, had the leash around his neck and everything, and just saying, here, go this way, go that way, go this way, go that way. Derek, he's gonna take out some more people, I feel like, because people, they better be scared about him after this. I would be. I don't want to go against Derek and nothing like that, especially not anything physical. But we're going to start off from the jump, y'all. We get to the elimination ring from the top, and we see all the games laid out. It's all going to be pretty physical of what the game's going to be. We got hall brawl. We got balls in. We got the tugging game. What is it? Pole wrestle. And then we got the last one, which is, I forget the name of the last one. Boxed up. We'll get to that, but I forget the name of the last one. I'm not a big. That one's the equal. Actually, you know what? That one was the most fair. The rest of them were just like, who's. I ain't gonna say who's the most bigger because Mark lost. In certain cases, it was the ones who was the most bigger that won the certain physical games. I hate that Amanda got matched up against Naya, the biggest girl on the show, and the one where the bigger you are, the easier it is to kind of control that. I mean, I wasn't a fan of that. I wish the first elimination was going to kind of be equal, and then we got to get these powerhouse ones later on. I just felt like they threw them all at us from the jump, and we'll see if every elimination is like this, where they pull the cards and it's just going to be one of these. Who knows? But we'll find out. TJ brings all the losers down. Era 1 chose Anissa and Derek. Era 2 chose Brandon and Cara. Laura said she is sick and tired of having an anchor tied to her. Laurel, we tired of you complaining about Cara bringing the team down when you just a hater. You a hater. It's a look. I listened to the podcast today with Laurel and Johnny Bananas' ex. I forget her name. I forget the girl's name. Morgan Willett. And Laurel just dogging Cara this whole interview. She's saying she's an anchor. She can't do anything right. She's chasing me. She's following me. She's this. She's that. Laurel, chill out. We know that you really secretly love Cara. You even admitted it in this episode. But you got the nerve to act like she's a weak link on the team? You're a toxic cancer to the team with your attitude and energy. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You're lucky you wasn't in that elimination tonight, because you probably would have went home. Because you gave Kellyanne that advice. You're the one screaming to her all this, do that. And what happened? She couldn't get anything open. The only thing she's getting open is her phone to get on that plane and go home. No thanks to you. Maybe you could have looked out for Kellyanne by giving her maybe an easier matchup for her. But you didn't. You gave her arguably the strongest competitor on the show. So Kellyanne, that should show you what's really going down as well. It wasn't just about throwing Cara in. It was about screwing over Kellyanne getting screwed over as well. You got to look at both sides of the picture. But Laurel, look, I don't hate Laurel by any means there. I don't hate nobody. But she's tripping. She's tripping. And she need to get her game together, because she's losing herself in the music the moment she wanted. She's obsessed with Cara at this point, and if she don't get her head in the game, she's gonna be out the game real soon. So quit dogging on her and quit making up these lies. Quit using these Karen tactics to try and put a target on her, because it ain't gonna work, clearly. Era 3 chose Tony and Amanda. Tori says they need to get rid of the bad energy. I can see where Tori's coming from. I love Amanda, so I ain't gonna go in on Amanda. But you got to look at both sides of the picture. Tori, why does Amanda have this tumultuous attitude towards you? Maybe you should change yourself, or not change yourself. Check yourself first, and maybe come to a compromise. Amanda doesn't seem to be coming to a compromise, so maybe she tried and whatnot. But there's different ways to get to her, different ways to pull at those heartstrings. Amanda has a child. Tori, if you really want this team to be successful, Amanda's a valuable member to the team. And I don't think she was the best one to send down there for the team's I get short-term future. I don't know if Amanda would have made it super far, but look, she would have made good TV. Anywho, I just team Amanda, but hey, it is what it is. She got thrown in. Amanda's annoyed that Corey chose Avery over her. Yes, Corey, we all disappointed in you, Corey. Corey, this is supposed to be the season that you're supposed to take home the gold medal. We tired of you getting silver and bronze, Corey. And this move right here to throw one of your strongest allies in elimination, the first one, what are you thinking, my brother? Are we moving backwards? We time traveling back in time and not using our heads. We not with the young bucks anymore, Corey. And you saying that you got to use more than the Nelly T stuff on me. Your friend had his leg amputated. Now, granted, the car accident might have been his fault. But besides the point, your friend is never going to be on the challenge again. And you saying that you got to use more than that? What bigger reason is there? I mean, you have your kids and your family, of course, but dang, Corey, it's like that? I wish one of my friends would dog me out like that on national television, saying that, oh, you got to use more than the DeAndre stuff. Well, dang, I thought we was dogs. And besides being dogs, that's straight up logic. Why would you choose a random chick, Avery, over your ally? I ain't gonna say friend, but ally. Corey, you don't have really anyone in this game besides a fake vacation alliance that'll keep you on the bottom the whole time. Your only number one in your team is Amanda. You're not tight with Devin. You're not tight with Jordan. You're not tight with Tony. You're not tight with Tori. You worked with Tori in the past, but you ain't really tight with her like that. You're not tight with Avery. You're not tight with Leroy like that. You guys never really work. I mean, you've worked together in the past, but you ain't tight like that. So, Corey, who do you really have other than Amanda on your team? You have a number with her, but you just threw it away. For what? For what? Corey, I'm disappointed. Amanda goes off on Corey at dinner about how Corey sold out for picking her. Yes, Amanda, you have every right to do that. So co-sign with that. Tina also co-signs with Amanda, and Amanda is one of the few people who speaks their true mind and feelings, and we need that on the challenge. Without Amanda, I feel like losing Amanda is the biggest loss of the night because she brings so much to the show, and the energy is just gone with the wind. So I hope Amanda gets a lot of flashbacks for the rest of the season, and we kind of just see a little bit more of her. But hey, shout out Amanda. She did her thing, and we'll get to her elimination soon, though. But yeah, I think she even called Corey a pussy on. She was going in. I want the uncut raw footage of what Amanda was doing. I mean, she was throwing out every insult in the book. She was stomping him out in the schoolyard at dinner, and everybody just sitting there casually eating, but they really listening because that's the only TV and entertainment they got. And if you look in the background, you can see everybody chuckling at what Amanda's really saying to Corey because they know what time it is, and they know Corey's a fool for throwing his ally under the bus. And Amanda had every right to do that in public. She strategically waited till they was at dinner to put him on blast in front of everybody because she's like, look, if I'm going down, I'm not going down alone. You coming down with me, player. So, Corey, please learn from this mistake. And let's fix our game up for the future. And Era 4 chose Paulie and Olivia. Like I said, eliminations are pole wrestle, hall brawl, balls in, and take shelter. So, take shelter. That's the last one. So these eliminations, physical, mental. We get 3 physical eliminations and 1, I guess, kind of physical, kind of mental. I'd say more of the mental part because if you strategically block your door off in the right way, it don't matter how strong somebody is, they're not getting it open. And they changed the rules on this from season Total Madness, I believe, is when Take Shelter originated. Because originally, Take Shelter is you had to get the door all the way open. I don't remember who it was, but I think it was CT who didn't get his door all the way open, and TJ said, oh, you can't go in, it's not all the way open. But, yeah, and then Jay won. But they switched it now to where you just got to get inside and press the button. So you could just open it a slither and wiggle your way in there and get inside. So, the challenge, like I said, like as we know, likes to finagle the rules a bit. Per se, I'm glad Cara won, and I don't mind Ryan winning, but I thought the rules were you had to get everything untangled, not just get the door open. Originally, maybe they changed it in this one, but that's just what settings they own. But yes, I wish that there were more equalizing eliminations like the Take Shelter. I think pole wrestle, who's the bigger one, but then again, Derek outmatched Mark on that, so I can't even use that argument. Hall brawl, usually the bigger dude wins that one. Balls in, typically the bigger girl or bigger guy wins that one. We kind of knew going in some of these matchups would turn out, so which kind of, ruined the suspense of some of the eliminations. But hey, they're classic eliminations, but I think it's time for the new classics to come in. We need some new ideas to get onto the writer's block and get put in the game. Amanda always gets the physical eliminations. I don't know why. She's gotten balls in the past. She's gotten, I believe, hall brawl in the past. And she's gotten pole wrestle in the past. Amanda just gets the short end of the stick in this. They see Amanda going to elimination, and the writer's like, oh, we got to get physical eliminations in here. We got to get her. She's a mother, y'all. Go easy on this woman. Let her live. Give her a chance. I want to see Amanda in elimination with a puzzle. I want to see Amanda have to use her brain for elimination. I want to see her get tested on that setting because she just time in and time again just keeps getting screwed over by the elimination gods and the matchups that she ends up having to get. I feel bad for Amanda. But yeah, and Era 3 is first for some strange reason. If you know why Era 3 ends up being first, let me know in the comments. I have no idea why. But yes, Amanda needs the prayers. And she looks like she's going against Lance Briggs down the middle. And she's Darren Sproles running back without the lateral quickness. But Amanda shocks the world. She shocks everybody. She shocks me and gets the first ball in by doing a little. She like goes in, but then she goes out and stops and like fakes like, oh, I'm done. And then she runs back in and then gets the ball in. Also, the rules on balls in, it's not no more just get the ball in the circle. You just got to get the ball in the rope around the bend, and then you're safe. When was that part of the rules, Coach? I missed that part of the explanation. I don't know how I feel about those rules because Nia got hers in and got hers out, and I don't know. That was just weird to me. That was just weird because you could just ultimately, the big deal is truck stick, dive, put the ball in there, you're good. You don't even have to get it in the hoop. I thought the goal was to get the ball in the hoop, not in the circle. It's called balls in, not balls almost in. Weird. But yes, Amanda wins the first one. Nia barely wins the second one. She misses the dunk, the slam dunk. But she gets the second one. She gets that one in, and then Nia ends up winning. Clearly, as we all expected, she's bigger. Amanda, unfortunately, is the first casualty of the season. Then they show the flashbacks of Leroy getting Brandon lined up, trying to get a brother cleaned up, for his big elimination day. It's been a long time since he's been on the main cast, and he's talking with Tony about how they're both the low man on the totem pole on their eras. They are the lowest. Devin, Corey, and Jordan are clearly the top dogs in there. They've been on the most seasons as of late, and they produce the best results on their teams, essentially. Corey almost won a bunch of times. Leroy almost won a bunch of times, too, but Corey typically performs better than Leroy, seemingly, and when they go head-to-head, last time, I believe, Double Agents, Corey beat him. Devin won. Jordan's a multi-time champ, so yeah, they're the only two besides Corey, I guess. Corey also has his teen mom stuff too, so Corey getting paid. Leroy and Tony ain't getting paid. Leroy made the final recently in All-Stars, but he flamed out, and yeah, I think they need they're trying to figure some things out and what's going down, but one of them got to go home. They should have just tried to get Devin. They should have ganged up and get Devin in this elimination. That was their best bet. They didn't do that. And now one of them has to go home. So it's Tony time. It's time to clock in. We ain't seen Tony time in a minute because on All-Stars 4, he Tony timed up out of here and he had to go home to abide by his family. I hope everything is going good with his family now. Leroy was saying that Tony's been happy-go-lucky, this unathletic dude, this dude that's just wobbly around, he ain't threatened by him at all, and he thinks he got this in the bag. Now Johnny Bananas is rooting for both of them, but he views Leroy as a brother. But as we said on the last episode, Johnny likes to tip his own hat, per se. He likes to compliment himself a lot more than most do. And last time I checked, Johnny really hasn't helped Leroy out to winning a challenge ever in my memory bank. He's been his ally. He's been a vote, maybe in his corner. But I never have I seen Johnny go out of his way to really save Leroy. Johnny could have had a voice in Era 3. He could have talked to Jordan. He could have talked to Devin. He's cool with both of them. He could have been like, hey, give my man Leroy an easy win. Easier win. If it's anything physical, put Devin in. Leroy would have washed Devin. But did we see Bananas do any politicking to help his brother out? No, we didn't. We didn't. We just saw him go after Cara. So, like I said, Johnny likes to talk and toot his own horn. I don't mind Johnny Bananas either, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. He ain't been there for Leroy. Not for real when the going gets tough. When the easy times are around, he needs to show up to his baby shower and these things in third. Sure. But Johnny, where are you at when Leroy needs saving? Nowhere to be found. So we get the elimination started. Tony gets the first point after Leroy falls. It's already looking hard for our brother. And Tony's upset hearing Bananas root for Leroy. So he's keeping that in the back of his mind. Bananas, if you were smart, you would have kept your mouth closed during this if you're allies with both. Tony's seeing right through you. He's seeing what everyone else sees. He's like, this ain't no friend. This a foe. And I got to quickly 4-0 your friend and sweep him up out of here. And that's just what Tony did. He got his broom out and swept Leroy up out the club swiftly. I mean, he even body slammed Leroy. This elimination was crazy. I mean, Leroy, what is going on, brother? You can't be getting body slammed, brother. We can't be doing this. We can't be doing it, Leroy. We gotta get back to the drawing board because I don't know what's going down. You've been retired. I'm retired more than Brett Favre. Get it together, Leroy. You're throwing too many interceptions. But Leroy's out the game after getting body slammed. Sad for that brother. Very, very sad. And he truck sticked him too. Devin is happy Leroy lost because the double agents where Leroy and Cam was working together through the whole game and eventually got Devin out and had to go against Josh. Devin's happy. So Era 3 is getting what they want so far, pretty much. Now it's time for Era 1. Era 1 is second to go. Don't know why again. They get pole wrestle. Whew. Pole wrestle might be the hardest elimination. Your hands start getting tired, withery. Your forearms start shaking. You're getting banged around. Sand all in your mouth, crotch, everything. This is the hardest elimination. I think it's harder than Hall Brawl. Never mind. Hall Brawl's harder. I say Hall Brawl's harder. But anywho, we get Derek versus Mark. Two Clash of the Titans. Big dogs, OG, double OGs in the game. David versus Goliath, essentially, if you're looking at size-wise. And Brad's just hoping nobody gets hurt. Like, just don't hurt y'all. You know, we challenge ain't giving us that good of insurance for this show. So if y'all break a bone or anything like that, then they ain't gonna pay for it. So let's hope everyone gets out safe. But they get started, and they just curl up into a ball, essentially. And Mark is using some, like, WrestleMania moves on him. I know Mark said he's doing professional wrestling in Boca Raton. So I don't know what that flip was, Mark. That didn't really do anything but add a cool shot. Maybe the producers are like, hey, do something cool in there. We need a cool action shot. And Mark's like, okay. And then flips himself. I don't know what he was trying to do. That's counterintuitive on what his goal was. But eventually, Derek just wears Mark out and rips it away. And, you know, Mark is fighting for his mother. God bless his mother, who has been through breast cancer. And Mark seems to have Derek in a Venus flytrap for the second time. He has all limbs around him. He's not letting go. And, you know, that's an opportune moment for Derek because Mark's exerting more energy. If you're a bigger dude, you just got to keep it tight to your chest and just hold it down like Derek was. Derek's strategy was smart. Now, Derek has played this game before, as we've heard a million times in the past. He played Joss. He went 40 minutes or so, however long, 2 hours. We don't know how long in the sand with Joss, and he won, as he constantly talks about on his podcast. And but Derek has the experience, and he was able to wither away Mark and rip the pole away and takes care of the victory for Era 1. So Mark, the OG of the house, is out. Derek is staying. So shout out Derek. Derek's a real one. He's a fighter, and that's what makes Derek a legend. So if anything, all these new people watching him that ain't seen Derek compete, this should be a wake-up call. We don't want this dude in elimination because he's not gonna quit. So shout out Derek. He got that Coach Boone, remember the Titans speech before the game. So he doing his thing. Next, we have Anissa versus Katie. Now, I didn't want to watch this one, y'all. I didn't want to watch this. I was thinking to myself, like, look, Anissa just going to sit on Katie. And she going to hurt her, man. Don't hurt Katie. And I'm just like, oh, here we go. But before we get the flashback, Anissa's going off on Rachel. She's like, why did you put me in? Why did you put me in? I'm like, Anissa, you do understand you the weakest link on the team outside of Katie, right? I mean, y'all weak links, and you do realize you're going up against Katie, so you have an advantage if it's anything physical off the rip. You know you're already going to win, so I don't know why you're tripping. Two, if it's anything else, you have a whole bunch of more experience in eliminations than Katie recently, so you should be confident going in, and you should be like, hey, I'm getting at least Katie and not like Jody or Rachel in an elimination. So I think Anissa just needs to like calm down and be like, I just need a moment with Tori. Anissa, be grateful you're getting this one out the way, because then if you get this one out the way, you can use that excuse. Hey guys, I already went in elimination. Don't put me in again. Get your eliminations out against the easier one so you can use that one for later. But Anissa gets in her feelings, thinking that just because she's been friends with Tori, it's just because he's known and Rachel the longest that she's going to get saved. It's not how the game work. You should already know that, but she seems oblivious to it. Anywho, Katie, they're about to get elimination started. Katie says she's a little nervous, but they get started soon, and boom, whistle goes off. And to my shock, this is the shockingest part of the night, Katie was throwing down with Anissa. I was like, hold up. I had to pause and rewind this part. Katie getting her in like a leg headlock. She got her choked out with her thighs. I'm just like, Katie might win this round, this pole wrestle. But once again, like Mark, she had to exert a lot more energy. Anissa was just able to curl up and hold it and then eventually rip it away, kind of like Derek was doing. But Katie, shout out Katie, because she said she's having fun now. She's in the sand. She was nervous, but now the nerves have gone off and she's just playing. Now, ultimately, Katie does lose, but Katie, she shows the will and the fight that Era One has and that she has had always. And I'm proud of Katie. She went out with her head held high. She went out fighting. She did not quit. I'm just glad she didn't quit. And it showed that she wanted to be there. It showed that she really was trying her hardest, and you can't ask any more than that. So shout out Katie Cooley. She's a winner. She's a champion, and she should not feel bad about this L. She should be going home proud. So shout out Katie. And Anissa won, so shout out her because she's staying in the house, even though she got lucky. It was pole wrestle. And she crushed her on the last one. She like sat on her, and I was hoping just Katie wouldn't get hurt, but she didn't, it's seeming like. So next is Era 4, and they get Hall Brawl. Cara. Paulie was pissed. Paulie pulled that out. He's like, oh, hell no. He slammed the poster on the ground. He knew what time it was. Theo's laughing, cheesing, about to have his tea party and crumpets. We all knew what time it was. Everyone in the stands knew what time it was. Theo's about 6'5", 6'6". Paulie's about 5'9". Theo outweighs Paulie by like damn near 100 pounds. Whew, this was not his night. I mean, pole wrestle, I feel like Paulie could have had a chance. Balls in, Paulie might have had a chance. Might. But Hall Brawl, Paulie has no chance. He has very little chance. His only chance was going low as hell, flipping Theo and hoping that he falls on his head. But before all that, Cara confides in Paulie that Cara has to go in, and he asks Bananas, why? Why'd you put Cara in? Bananas like, well, what else would I do? Who do I have? Who do you have? Paulie's like, you have me. Bananas like, who else do you have? And Paulie's like, but you have me. Paulie knows he ain't got nobody on his squad. Look, Paulie ain't got no allies besides Cara either. He doesn't. He has none of his squad mob. Everybody that was on War of the Worlds 1, 2 are not here. That was with him. He has no Rogan. He has no Joss. He has no Ashley. He has no Nani. He has no Lee. Well, Leroy, he wasn't on his team like that. He has nobody, basically. Paulie has nobody. Everyone from those seasons got purged out and was not invited. And so Johnny's like, why? I'm already alone, basically. Why would I go join you when you alone? We two alone-looking fools up in here. So that argument was kind of funny to me. Just because he's like, who else do you have? Paulie, Paulie says, Bananas, you have me and Cara. Knowing damn well Bananas don't want to work with Cara and he wants to get that lick back from those seasons, especially. And yeah, Johnny said Cara has had every chance. Yeah, Johnny said Cara has had every chance to come up to him and resolve things, and she didn't. Johnny. We gotta stop capping every episode. We gonna keep track of how many caps you have per episode. I believe this is 2. Last episode you had 3. You even if Cara came up to you, Johnny, you still wouldn't have wanted to work with her. You still wouldn't have accepted that. You would have used that, laughed at her face, and been like, "Good, go ahead and go into elimination anyways." Ha ha. Oh, I'm gonna leave it up to Laurel. It's the girls for the girls. I can't do anything. So Johnny, stop the cap. Cara came up to you at the airport, at the pre-party, at the challenge. You still wouldn't have listened to her. So just stop the cap. We know what time it was, and we know what time it is, and we don't need a clock to figure that out with you. But anywho, Laurel also says that she still has a lot of love for Cara, and her decision is ultimately up to who she does and doesn't want to see in the final. Now, I think that's a half truth. I think that's a half truth. Laurel, she doesn't want to see strong competitors in the final. I don't blame you for that. I don't at all. I would want to get the strong competitors out early too. But the first episode, and also, do you have a lot of love? Where is that love? Because I'm a person that goes off actions, not words. You say you have love, but where has the love been shown? Where has the love been given? You laughed at Cara because she didn't beat you in the mission. You tried to get her out every single episode in All Stars 4. You threw her into elimination. I mean, I don't know what kind of love that is, but if that's that kind of love, I don't want it. Your love is lost. It's dangerous love. Dangerously in love. Beyonce settings. Not and even Beyonce had better love than that. Look, just admit it, Laurel. You just jealous, and that's okay. That's okay. We all get jealous. We all have those moments. We all have those people we want to be like. We all have those people. They doing a job. They post this on Instagram. We like, dang, like, they going to the beach again. They in Worlds of Fun again. Why can't that be me? We all get like that, and it's okay to admit it. Just don't lie and act like it's all good in the hood when you really hating inside the house. You better than that, Laurel. Come on now. You better than that. You just won $250,000. You ain't got a cap. Excuse me. But yes, Kellyanne says she has a psychic for her and her dog. Shout out Kellyanne's dog. I might need a psychic too, based off these things. But the psychic, she need to get her money back because everything she told Kellyanne and she was predicting, she said she was gonna be there for 4 or 5 weeks, was wrong. And yeah, Kellyanne, yeah, get your money back from that psychic. Don't go to him no more or her. Cara said she isn't surprised about Johnny, but is surprised about Laurel. Cara, how are you surprised about Laurel, considering she did the same thing in All Stars 4? That's where I question Cara, because I'm like, Cara, where is this nativity coming from? Naivety coming from? I'm saying the word wrong. Where is this naiveness coming from, Cara? Why do you think Laurel will have your back after what happened in All Stars 4? Now, apparently they talked after the season and they made amends, but you got, like I said, you got to go off actions more than words. Show me what you do, not what you say. And what Laurel has done has not ever been beneficial to Cara. Ever, pretty much. She said a lot of nice things. I know plenty of people who say great things and whisper sweet nothings in my ear. But if the actions don't back it up, then why the hell would I even bother really taking what you say as truth? It's just cat. So come on, Cara. We got to stop falling for the same trick again. Laurel knows you're gonna fall for that trick, and you keep doing it. So I can't even get mad at Laurel for that one. Whew. Yeah. And Michelle tells Paulie that it was her decision to put him in because that's essentially what Theo wanted. It really didn't matter. Theo called Paulie out. He was going in after that. So you're not gonna break up the dynamic of the team based off what the person going to elimination wants most of the time. And Michelle really ain't got no relationship with Paulie like that. Cara, maybe, but Paulie, no. So it's time for Era 4's Hall Brawl. Jenny's hype. Jenny looked like she acting like she's like, my blood is pumping, my eyes are throbbing, my muscles are shaking and tweaking. Jenny was ready to get in there because we saw what happened last time she was in Hall Brawl. Well, the last time I remember she was a Tori. I think she did it again, but she won. But yeah, Jenny was hype. Theo was psyched. Theo's lit. He's like, oh, yes, thank you, TJ. He was, it's funny because he looked like probably looked like a little kid standing next to Theo. And this episode was just funny compared to that. But we get a brief history of his and Theo's history. If you don't know, they were on War of the Worlds together. Theo was paired up with Cara, ironically. Paulie was getting the UK people out, but they both made the final. Paulie got out the first in the final. Theo got second place. World of the Worlds 2, they were on opposite sides. Paulie ended up throwing in Theo 4 times in elimination, I believe, and Theo eventually lost the last one. And they got in some big argument where Paulie kissed Theo, and that's where they stood. That was the last we seen of them two, but now they're back, and it's time to even the score or take over the score, whichever one you want to put. I'd say it was 1-1 going into this. And Paulie, look, I love Paulie. Paulie is one of my favorite people here. Paulie been eating some Snickers. He's getting thick. Thick. I mean, they showed the flashbacks and he's gotten thick. You know what I mean? Real thick. And I don't know. You know, Paulie, I want him to do well, but I just don't think this was his this wasn't his night, because once that bell, that horn gets blown, y'all, I wish I could play the footage back on this podcast, because that was some of the most epic hitting in Hallbro I think I've seen. I mean, it's just like a semi truck going against the Audi. And Paulie gets flattened like he's in Tom and Jerry, and he turns into a rug. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm gonna have to rewatch it again because that was crazy. I mean, the problem is when you're playing football and you're going in there, even if you're going against a bigger dude, you can't slow up when you're about to get the hit. You're just gonna have to you're gonna bring the hit. And Paulie took the hit. And it doesn't help that he's smaller too, but he gets flattened. His soul left his body. He was in he got sent to the Shadow Realm. No Monster Reborn card. No Pokemon Center in sight. And he was out for the count, y'all. I mean, I know he was seeing stars. And he loses the first round. It's time for the second round. I'm like, Paulie, just save yourself at this point. And Theo shoots out again like a cannon and just I mean, oh my god, y'all, that was crazy. I ain't seen nothing like that. I ain't seen nothing like that in Hallbro. That was nuts. That was nuts. That was nuts. I don't even know more to explain than that. But I hope Paulie's okay. He said he's not gonna get over this in a while. Theo said he didn't think it was gonna be this easy. He's being braggadocious and boastful, and Paulie said it's gonna be a nightmare for a very, very long time. Paulie, get some rest. Ice up. Because now he had the worst matchup of the night, I think. I mean, he got it the worst. But damn. I hope we see Paulie again soon, because he needs his redemption. He needs his redemption. Stop wearing those weird looking wife beaters. But anywho, Paulie loses. And it's Nerys and Olivia's turn. Now Reese gets emotional before the elimination. She's crying. No, Reese, you got to keep your head in the game. Keep your head in the game. You got to keep your head in the game. Woo! She's already out of it before it even starts. Horacio decides to pick Olivia because it's Narice's best chance to win. It's between Olivia, Big Ass Jenny, and Casey. That's the best option he could have had, I think. And not knowing it was going to be Hall Brawl too, but the fact that it was Hall Brawl, Narice was screwed anyway. Rock, paper, scissors, you losing every time. Feel bad for her because she's a strong competitor and she's a good chick, and I hate to see her go, but yeah, she was screwed either way in this, unless it was the rope tying game. But yeah, Narice tells Horacio to make her his wife, and she doesn't want to be a baby mama. She's trying to cuff it down. Look, I don't hate it. She's telling you what you want, Horacio. You saying you want five kids. I mean, go ahead. What are you waiting for? You got the time and space. But Horacio wants to compete. He wants to do his thing. He ain't trying to get chained down quite yet. So I don't blame him on that. But Narice, she's trying to get locked down. She's like, I want my name dropped. Period. He's like, are you sure? But Narice, she's a woman on a mission. If she don't win the challenge, she gonna win something. She's like, I'm leaving here with something. So you better give me something now. Whew. But yes, we get started with the elimination. Olivia wins the first round. Pretty patty cake round. Very skippable. They barely touch each other. Everyone's, not appreciating the lackluster performance. Horacio said he needs Olivia to play dirty. Like Christina Aguilera. Get down in there. And it's time for second round, and boom. Olivia is throwing Narice out the club. She must have dropped her glass drink in the club, and now Olivia looks like a bouncer, just tossing her out. But to the surprise, Narice does not give up. She's fighting back. She almost wins this round because she's dragging Olivia right now. Olivia's holding on for dear life against her shoe, but somehow Olivia flips Narice on her back, and then she's able to get up in time to go hit the bell, and then Narice loses. Not the most crazy entertaining Hall Brawl round, I'd say, but Narice tried her best. This is a size elimination for the most part. She didn't have the size against anyone, and unfortunately, the writing was on the wall. Destiny's Child settings for her to go home. So unfortunately, Narice goes home after that, and Horacio is left all alone. It's tough. That's tough. Era 2 is last for some strange reason, and they get Take Shelter. Now, Take Shelter is a very interesting elimination. As everyone knows, CT lost to Jay in this elimination. He was upset. But they get 20 minutes to build a barricade around this bunker using chains, ropes, wood, whatever the materials that they give them to make it impossible for the other person to open the gate. Now, before we get started, Cara said Laurel is always going to be an insecure, sad woman. Dang. She's calling it as she sees it. She's just calling it as she sees it. CT actually consoles Cara and tries to get her hyped up and her head back in the game. CT's like, look, Cara, you got the spunk in you. He was giving her the Rocky Balboa speech. CT, he's been watching a lot of Rocky lately with his little talk. He took the poster off the wall and he's like, look at this. You remember this? This is you. This is not you. What are you doing? Remember this? I'm like, CT. Cara's like, stop. Like, okay, I get it. Like, I know I'm a beast, but come on now. I don't need the pep talk. But that was nice to see because I don't really see CT acting like that too much towards anybody else unless they're his partner. So that was nice to see. Yeah, that was their little moment. Kellyanne says she's getting married in a few weeks, so congratulations, Kellyanne. And she's planning to have kids very soon. That's excellent. Shout out Kellyanne in the future kids. And her sidekick was telling her more things that I don't know about, but yeah. So we get the guys. Elimination started first. They saving the best for last, as Cara always usually gets the best elimination for last. But the guys go first. It's Ryan versus Brandon. We don't get to see them that much until the elimination. Like they kind of just gloss over the guys pretty quickly because the guys and the girls go at the same time. That's right. Very interesting because when they're yelling to help from the sideline, it's like some people are yelling at Cara, some people are yelling at Brandon, some people are yelling at Ryan, some people are yelling at Kellyanne. It's a lot of yelling probably going on, and nobody can hear and decipher anything. And the people can't leave the stands. They can't go on the other side and help like the other point of view. And from the point of view standpoint, I believe the guys were at the bottom and the girls were at the top, closer to the crowd. That takes effect into it. That could be harder for the girls because they're getting more voices because everyone's screaming. They're getting all the voices, and the guys might be able to tune out a little bit. But yeah, this was a crazy elimination. But yes, Ryan's making a ton of knots on one side, which is smart. He's making sure as long as you can't get the gate open, that's the main key. And Ryan's doing it good. Ryan's going ham. I ain't never seen Ryan go this ham before. He was not going like this on All Stars 4. He was there on vacation. Here, he's trying to actually play the game. Kudos, Ryan, because you getting back on the right side of history, my friend. Brandon's making things look. He's looking make things look nice. I compared Brandon's to, a lot of corporate companies. It looks nice on the outside. I used to work for this company too. I ain't gonna say the company's name, but everything you walk in the building, everything looks nice. There's flowers. The employees are smiling, saying, "Oh, I hope you have a great day." Birds are chirping. You got a nice carpet. Some nice pictures up on the wall. But behind closed doors, and you get to that employee entrance, get behind there, all hell's breaking loose. It's like the meme with the dog and the fire is going off in the back and the office lit up. That's exactly what Brandon's cage was. It looked nice, but it really just was a hot mess. I don't know what he was doing. It just didn't look like he didn't use enough materials to me. Paulie says that he's the one that's used to doing the tying up, and Cara's used to getting the knots undone. Okay. I guess we're getting a little sneak peek into their OnlyFans. Wow, I'm surprised they let this slide on TV. Wow. Very interesting little segment. Cara even said she gets tied up and she put the circular wheel on the middle for aesthetic purposes. I like that. I think if you put the circular looking wheel on and then tied the strings around it, that might help some more. But you have to do that first. Maybe, I feel like, because then that's a big piece you got to move away. But if it's not heavy, then it's kind of just a waste of time. Like the wood and the bags, they're pointless. Unless you put so many of them on or they weigh like 100 pounds, sure. But if they're only like 40, 50 pounds and you're like Ryan, just grabbing and throwing them off, there's no point in using it. It's just a waste. It just looks nice. Like I said, Brandon just made his look real nice when really it was flames going up. Whew. So everyone's yelling at all the directions. Like I said, Rachel said she's always been on Team Cara over Team Laurel. And she's trying to stay on the right side of history because she knows what time it is. She had to spend time with Cara and Laurel on All Stars 4 and seeing what the chaotic relationship was like. Now, granted, like I always say, Cara, you need to get out. Like the movie, get out. She's under some spell. I don't know what the spell is, but get out. If she hasn't seen the movie, you need to watch it. When you get home, Cara, watch Get Out. You need to get out. Hopefully she has. She's in the sunken place with Laurel. But soon it's time to switch. And yeah, like I said, the bags Brandon put on were useless. Ryan just grab him, toss, grab, toss, bag toss. He's playing bag toss now. A whole new elimination game. Ryan's going ham. And the girls' doors, locks looks way more knotted up than the guys. It looked like the girls put in way more work than the guys. Era 2's a mess, y'all. Era 2 is a mess. They're going to be entertaining. But yeah, the girls definitely put in more work than the dudes. And yeah, Kellyanne looks like she's winning. Now, by the specs of things, it looks like Kellyanne's going to get the dub. And everyone is rooting for Cara. They're all rooting for Cara, Team Cara, because Cara she knows most of Era 1 pretty well. Kellyanne hasn't done as many seasons, so she doesn't have that rapport. But Era 1 said, F you, Kellyanne. Get up out of here. We want to see Cara. We want to see the Cara Maria show. This is the challenge. Season 40, Battle of The Cara Maria show. Period. And they here for it. So Ryan eventually wins, very kind of anticlimactically. And Cara soon edges out the victory as well. So at the end of the elimination, the losers all stay behind. And the losers are Era 1, Mark and Katie. Era 2, Kellyanne and Brandon. Era 3, Leroy and Amanda. Era 4, Nerese and Paulie. Those are our 8 losers of the night. They are all going home. However, they are told that they will still get to impact the game. TJ explains that they will each be getting a piece of paper and they will get to rate all the challengers 1 through 5, and that will give them karma points. What do these points do? We don't know yet, but it's going to have some effect on the rest of the game, and they're going to have kind of a small say in or effect on who could possibly win the game. So that's entertaining. I like that. I do like that twist because it keeps even the losing players in the game. That's kind of why I think Survivor and Big Brother do well. Is like not everyone makes jury, but the players who do, even though they're out, they still feel like they have a voice. They still feel like they're on the show. So, and that's important because that keeps more people tuned in because they could possibly see one of their faves up again, even though they're out the game. We get a few snippets of who voted what for who. Hopefully, we get some more throughout the week. But Leroy gave Anissa a 5 because she hasn't won. Okay, but hey, I'm not mad at that, brother helping a sister out. Amanda gives Cara a 5. Crazy, but they've mended fences. Nerese gives Olivia a 3 and gives Horacio, of course, a 5. Kellyanne gives Bananas a 1 because Bananas didn't help her. Like I said, it wasn't just about putting Cara in elimination. It was about who was going up against Kellyanne. Kellyanne might have had a good chance to beat Aviv in that elimination matchup. Kellyanne might have had a good chance to beat Emily in that elimination matchup. I think she would have beat Emily. I don't know how Emily's skills are with that, but Kellyanne did a good job. She was right on Cara's tail. So Kellyanne was basically set up to lose because Cara is a beast. Cara and Anissa are still tied on elimination wins. So you're going to put me against the girl that's won the most amount of eliminations in the show's history? They didn't do her any favors, and that's why she gave Bananas a 1 because Bananas screwed her over, just like Bananas did in the past against her as well. Bananas screwed over basically everyone on his own team, essentially once or twice, maybe except Laurel. So I don't blame her for that. Bananas probably getting the lowest amount of karma points. Brandon gives Ryan basically a 0 because he's hating. I don't know why Brandon didn't give Ryan that many points. That he was just hating. I mean, I don't want to see a brother go home. You know, we lost 2 brothers this episode and basically 2 sisters. Did we? No, 1 sister. But you don't gotta give him a 0 because you should give him a 5. I mean, I don't know. It's a little petty to me, but it is what it is. Sore loser. Paulie gives Laurel basically a 0 as well because she's a child, and he said she needs to grow up because she is pathetic. And Amanda, I love Amanda. I'm gonna miss Amanda. Come back. She gives Tori a -5. She probably just wrote X over Tori's name, and they're like, okay, we know what this is. But yeah, that was the end of the episode. So this episode was only eliminations, and I think from now on we'll get regular episodes with the challenge, the deliberation, and the elimination all in one. I don't know if this is going to be an hour 30 minutes. I don't know if the whole season's an hour 30 minutes. If it is, great. I love it. If it's not, sad. But good episode. I say quality episode. They gave us enough. They missed out on some things and definitely did some things weird. Like I said, picking the order of the eras that went, and then also who decided to pick what Hollywood Square elimination box to pit. I really want to know that. So I'm looking forward to hearing some insights on some of the other podcasts about why that was chosen. I listened to a lot of them this week. I think this week on the challenge, I've listened to maybe like 6, 7 podcasts just so I can get a full spec of what's really going down. And I have a lot of free time on my hands when I'm at work. So I appreciate y'all for joining through to this challenge. Season 40 Battle of the Eras, episode 2 or 1.5 reaction slash recap special with your boy DeAndre. We will be back next week with episode 3. I cannot wait because it is really where the games will begin and we will see the strategy formulating and taking place. There's a lot of different people that could have different angles to go from. I can't really give a power ranking at this point because we don't really know who's aligned with who at this point. From an optic standpoint, we didn't get to see enough of it up and close and working against and the votes and all these things. So next week we'll show a lot and I'll really be able to kind of break down some people's games next week. But y'all, I appreciate you for joining me once again. Till next time, y'all. Peace, blessings, deuces, and have a great rest of your day. Oh, yeah. And let's go, Cara. Show all these people that they can't do you dirty and that you going to stand up in the fire and spray them all down. Keep on doing your thing, girl. Team Cara.